If you want to apply for a license or a permit, you need to submit an event plan. And an event plan covers items such as your objectives. So what is it exactly that you want to organize? What do you want to achieve? The licensor or the permit provider also wants to know who is actually organizing the event and who is actually on board of that organization. So make sure you provide them with adequate information. I wrote down your event. Well, with that I mean you need to describe exactly what your event is, what kind of audience you have, what kind of music you play, the duration of your event, where it will take place, etc. So that this section, your event, is really important. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to write an entire essay on it. It literally is a story that is to the point and exactly what it is, what you want to organize, so that people that are not 24/7 involved with the organization know exactly what it is that you want to organize. Your health and safety plan is something that we're talking about in this particular workshop, together also with your site plan, because more or less they go hand in hand. And with your health and safety plan, we're talking about risk assessments, about your medical plan, about your security plan. In your event plan, you also include your environmental plan. So how will you actually deal with the waste that you create at your event, and what kind of alternative sources do you have for energy, and how will you communicate with your audience? The communication plan is quite important, and we will talk a little bit about that in this workshop as well. It's about the internal communication and the external communication. So internally within the organization, and externally how you communicate with your audience, but also with the neighbors of the event site, for example, and the press. In your event plan, you need to convince the authorities that you know what it is that you want to organize. So make sure you really think it through before you just write something down and submit it. If you want to know more about how to actually write a proper event plan, I've created another workshop for you. It's called Event Planning, and that workshop will go in a lot more detail about what should exactly go into an event plan. The focus of this workshop is on health and safety, but before we go into the health and safety aspects, we need to look at exactly what will have an influence on those health and safety aspects. So, for example, when I was talking about your event plan, I mentioned that you have to describe exactly what your event is. Well, you have to do so, but you have to then also look at what kind of audience you're attracting. You need to look at where you want to organize it. So when I say what kind of audience you're attracting, you need to describe your audience. Are they old? Are they young? I will talk a little bit about that in the next section. What kind of activities you have on site? So do you have fairground rides? How safe are those? So you need to look at those kind of activities. And what kind of performances do you act? Or what kind of performers do you have on your event? So for example, if you have a boy band, that might cause a little bit of a stir among 14, 15-year-old girls who want to stand at the front of the stage. So are you actually prepared for that? What kind of effect will your performances have on the audience? So you need to look at these kind of things. So within your event plan, there is that other section called your event, and this is where you really need to start thinking about every element of your event, how that has an effect on health and safety aspects.